Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, September 11th. From the San Antonio Express News, my name is Luis Vasquez, and this is your Express Briefing. All of the stories you need to know to start your day. San Antonio hit a record low temperature Thursday after a cold front rolled through the area, according to meteorologists with the National Weather Service. Sweater weather isn't here to stay, though. It'll warm right back up today. You can expect mostly cloudy skies with a high of 85 in San Antonio today, and highs to return to about 90 over the weekend. Saturday is the first day of the early teal season, and the forecast is excellent for the waterfowl migration. Also, our taste team stopped by a San Antonio icon, but didn't have many kind words in the review of their pizzas. Keep an eye out for the latest entry in our 52 Weeks of Pizza series later on today at expressnews.com. And now let's move on to the top stories for the day. Attacks on objects, other than computers, that connect to the internet more than doubled compared to the months before the pandemic emerged, according to research led by Elias Boharb, Associate Director of the Cyber Center for Security and Analytics at UTSA's Business School. Boharb said the swelling number of people working from home provides an ideal environment for hackers who can jump from smart devices to machines that log into organizations' networks. Boharb and a team of UTSA researchers have been analyzing network traffic worldwide. On any given day, they can see hundreds, if not thousands, of undetected hacks in smart devices in the United States alone. In one case, medical imaging equipment was hacked in an operating room. Alia Malik has more on their studies and their findings. An abandoned CVS store on San Antonio's west side has been transformed into a medical clinic, one that promises to improve the access and quality of healthcare for nearby residents. Kano Health, a fast-growing Miami-based healthcare company, hired Tejano artist Jay Perez as a brand ambassador and has already pumped ad dollars into radio spots, TV commercials, and Facebook. On September 26th, employees will pass out bags of uncooked fideo, rice, and beans and vitamins during a drive-through grand opening of the clinic. Laura Garcia has more on one of the fastest-growing healthcare companies in the nation and its plans in San Antonio. Melissa Fletcher Stolchi writes, quote, "My mother emerged from the sliding glass doors of her assisted living center wearing a billowy pink dress and slide-on sandals. Her long graying hair was braided and wound into a bun. It was the first time in 5 months that she'd been able to see her mother in the flesh, to sit across from her and have face-to-face conversation. Ginger Purdy, once a famous and feisty advocate for San Antonio women, is a robust 93. Read about her and the day that felt like, quote, Easter, Christmas, and New Year's Eve all rolled into one." When Ryan Garcia was a small child, he loved reading biographies of American presidents and imagining that kind of political glory for himself. Later, as an adolescent, he became an avid viewer of The West Wing and started to see the art of governing in a new way. Over the past 8 years, 31-year-old Garcia has done plenty of legwork, establishing himself as one of the most powerful behind-the-scenes forces on the San Antonio political scene. Gilbert Garcia introduces you to the master of field organizing and data collection who has played a role in almost every hard-fought local election over the past 8 years. To keep our readers up to date on the path of COVID-19, the Express News has built a dashboard of interactive graphics showing the spread of the virus in the San Antonio area, in Texas as a whole, and across the United States. We've also created an interactive map of San Antonio for COVID-19 testing sites that don't require a doctor's referral. You can find a link to the dashboard and the interactive map in this episode's description. Next up are your need-to-know headlines. You can find all of these headlines and more inside your Express News subscription. The Metropolitan Health District reported 69 new cases of COVID-19 Thursday, a significant drop from Wednesday's 151 cases, continuing a trend that has seen a decline in cases for several weeks. 9 new deaths brought the death toll to 990. San Antonio's Public Works Department has a survey to choose 4 to 6 downtown or midtown street corridors where the respondents most want to see protected bike lanes. Some activists say the city needs fewer studies, reports, and surveys, and more tangible progress. Bexar County officials committed Thursday to spending $1.5 million in fiscal 2021 to begin phasing in a coordinated model for responding to law enforcement calls involving individuals with mental health issues. UPS is looking to hire more than 100,000 seasonal workers, including about 1,500 in San Antonio, to help it manage an expected surge in packages between October and January. As the City Council nears a vote on the future of a program aimed at protecting the city's primary source of clean drinking water, some council members worried voters wouldn't have a say and that a sister initiative to build linear parks and trails would suffer. A San Antonio teenager was arrested Thursday after allegedly encouraging her 3-year-old brother to smoke marijuana, according to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. Animal Care Services say service calls are up, but intakes are down during the coronavirus pandemic in San Antonio. You can find our Q&A with ACS Director Heber Lefgren at the link in this episode's description. New research shows that more than 1 in 5 households in San Antonio struggle to pay their energy bill. They spend at least 6% of their income on electricity and natural gas for their homes, according to a report published Thursday. U.S. Senator John Cornyn said he understands why President Donald Trump sought to downplay the dangers of the coronavirus at the beginning of the crisis, though he believes the president could have done without withholding information about the virus. Governor Greg Abbott and other top state Republicans vowed Thursday to introduce legislation that would ban cities from annexing local unincorporated areas if they cut law enforcement funding. Roughly 1.8 million jobless Texans will take a $300 hit in their weekly unemployment benefits as extra federal money runs out this week. The Federal Emergency Management Agency's Lost Wages Assistance Program ended September 5th. Jenna Saucedo-Herrera's job is wooing employers to San Antonio. It's a field dominated by white men, but that's changing. She says sometimes she gets brownie points for being cool and wearing jeans. She sat down for a Zoom Q&A with us this week, which you can find at the link in this episode's description. The Express News editorial board writes, quote, "It was 2001 and we've come to know the day by its calendar assignation, 9/11. We will never forget it." It's been a long time since a sports calendar was more packed than it was Thursday. The question, Mike Finger writes, is this: what did the country, literally ablaze in one sense and figuratively in another, do to deserve such an athletic bounty? San Antonio artists make light of 2020 with miniature dumpster fires and other works. Trust some San Antonio artists to make real light of such dark days, especially with works that sum up 2020 in a flaming nutshell. We're talking mini dumpster fires, stickers, greeting cards, and more. Rene Guzman has the full story at the link in this episode's description. The fence housing hundreds of locks representing hopefully fairy tale-esque romances has moved to its temporary spot on Callison Walk Bridge. The original walkway where the fence stood is suffering from cracks and erosion and is in danger of future collapse, according to officials. The San Antonio Museum of Art has reopened and renamed its Latin American Folk Art Gallery, which had been closed for 3 years. San Antonio jazz musician and educator Jim Waller has released his debut album, Bucket List. 3 new San Antonio restaurants, Elsewhere Garden Bar and Kitchen, Fairmount Rooftop Oyster Bar, Vegan Avenue, shine with bar food, oysters, and vegan options. Neil Sperry addresses American Beauty Berry and other readers' gardening questions in his Down-to-Earth column, and Calvin Finch advises that you should plant wildflower seeds now for spring and summer blooms. The Somerset Bulldogs are set for Friday's season opener against Sealy without head coach Sonny Detmer. And that's all for today. This was your Express briefing for Friday, September 11th. My name is Luis Vasquez. Please consider becoming an Express News subscriber so you can get in-depth coverage on all the stories you heard today. Also, be sure to rate and review this podcast inside of your Apple Podcast app, as it really helps the show. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.